Good morning and welcome to Transwest Truck Trailer RV. My name is Katie O'Neill and I am so excited about today's video. So thanks so much for tuning in to us here in very sunny Frederick, Colorado. My name is Katie O'Neill. I'm at 303-562-8659. I'm also at TTT RV on YouTube, and even better, if you want to catch all of my videos, you can find me at hashtag RVs Inside Out. So as usual, I love to start my RV videos from the inside out. Jody, please go ahead and take her on back. And as you know, we go through these model changes for Newmar, rarely do we have an opportunity to show you such an amazingly custom coach available for sale that was not ordered for a client. First and foremost, this is a 4551, and I really have to applaud my management team for actually taking stock in what we've told them and allowing us to order a few of these Onyx package coaches. Now, as you all know, when they did that modification of the London Aire to this new interior, they changed a lot of things. So there's a black sink, for instance, there's black hardware throughout. So if you look at this fantastic shower surround, all of the black that you see here has been in place since 2024 when they did the modification for this chassis. And in doing that, they really created a very luxurious but more sporty and aggressive RV. Now, for those of you that are coming into this marketplace looking for something that's more elegant, you may look at the Essex, for instance, in the not contemporary but the traditional package. But if you're looking for something that is edgy but still contemporary and sporty, this is a really nice blend of the traditional with something a little more fashion forward. So let's start over here by this dual basin vanity. So as you can see today, I only have on the accent lights currently. I wanted to kind of show off how nice this bathroom could be with your backlit mirror. There's vanity lights above that are of course mounted in the soft touch ceiling. And those are going to shine down on these really gorgeous black basin sinks. This surround goes perfectly well with the Morel finish that we have throughout this coach. And this is the Morel High Gloss. Now, the 4551, of course, has been the most popular selling model in the 45-foot chassis since the dawn of time. Honestly, it's just such a great layout because of the fact that it has so much drawer space here. The two vanities, or the two sinks of the vanity, all of the soft close drawers, the dovetail finish that you see throughout. So all of these things have always made the 4551 popular because if you're camping and you need a place to keep all of your beach towels, all of your linens, it's just nice to know you have plenty of room. Also, you'll see the hydronic heat vents here underneath are just over our high gloss, beautiful tile floor with electric in-floor heating. Even the engine cover that I'm standing on right now is heated, so if you do get up at night and you are using the porcelain throne, your little toesies are going to stay nice and warm. But this 4551 is so popular because of the layout in the rear. So for instance, when you look at this shower, the AquaView Aquamizer shower saving system has been in all of our coaches for a really long time, but what you'll find here again with the London Aire is all of the new black faucet trims. Your wand is black, your big rain head shower is black. And of course we've kept with the traditional body wash, shampoo and conditioner dispenser, the teak bench which holds up to 250 pounds. And then in the London Aire, of course, you get this beautiful linear drain as well. You've got the towel racks on the back of the shower. And of course, one of the things that people talk about when they're looking at RVs is they want to make sure that there's enough room to be comfortable. This is a very strong magnet. They want to make sure there's enough room to be comfortable taking a shower. So when we have different product lines, there's a kind of a misconception that maybe we don't have all of the different things available because it's the RV industry and we're behind the times. That is not the case. When you start to move into luxury line products like this London Aire, from Dutch Star up, you have things like a cathedral ceiling. So the cathedral ceiling is a higher grade ceiling It doesn't have a skylight in here. As you can see, it's got a ton of headroom. There's no need for the skylight. Now it still would have your rain sensing fan, so you got your rain sensing fan right up above the toilet where it should be. But as you can see, it's got a nice, you know, solid maple surround in that high gloss merle finish around it. So as we go up in product line, you'll find that there are features available to you that you don't have throughout the rest of the product line. And of course, that's because this coach costs more money than some of the other ones. It also costs less than some of the other ones. Okay, I'm on unlock. I swear, oh, there we go. There we go. All right, the emergency exit door, AKA egress. As you can see, I'm just gonna pull my day shade up here so you can see out to the back of that awning. This is a great way to exit the coach if there is an emergency or some kind of fire. It's also a great way to load in your linens or load out your linens if you're packing for a trip. And it's nestled nicely next to this beautiful closet. So when you open the closet, the lights come on automatically. And then again, you'll find on the higher grade coaches, as you go up in model class, you get some nice things. For instance, this shoe cabinet with the two huge shelves built into this rear deck lid. Now this is nestled just above the, in the fiberglass cap, above our 605 horsepower, 1,950 foot-pounds of torque. So again, as we go up in class, we get a whole lot of things, and one of them is power. The other one's convenience. You've got the dual hanging rod in here. Now, keep in mind, if you want to have something like a you know, special wood finish on the interior of the rear, you know, to help prevent against any kind of little critters, you can get those things in the Essex. The other thing to note about Newmar, though, is if you want. Why am I struggling with what kind of wood it is? What kind of wood is it that you have in the back, Jody?
Cedar.
Cedar. Okay, cedar line closets. So if you'd like to have something like a cedar line closet installed on a London Aire, these are special things that we can put in for you. So if this coach is going to spend most of its time, you know, out for 2 or 3 months and the rest of the time in mothballs, and you need a cedar line closet, Newmar is really good at allowing you to customize your coach. I've got 6 special orders on my desk. One of them has $85,000 in specials. It's actually a London Aire bunk model. But you know, you don't have to do that, but if you want to have a manufacturer that allows you to choose, you know, whether you want a high gloss or a suede finish, whether or not you want a gray interior like the Camino, whether or not you want a beige, whether or not you want to have wood plank floors or high gloss floors. Heated floors are standard on the London Aire. If you don't like them, you could actually have a special to remove them. Okay, Jody, let's trade places. I want to just show off some of my favorite features. First and foremost, I like the fact that I've got a place on both sides to hang my hand towel. And it's something that's just, I know it sounds silly, but it's very useful. The other thing I really like is the fact that there's a robe hook in here. Another thing I think is really important in a coach is to have a place to keep, you know, your Tide Pods and your dryer sheets. And of course, that's nestled right below our stackable Splendide washer and dryer. And of course, because the heavier load is going to be in the one that holds water, we've got the washing machine down below, the dryer up above. And for those of you who've watched my videos for a long time, you know I always like to cover features and benefits in my Newmar Superstar. When I go camping, after I'm out of the shower, the towels go in the dryer, I hit the start button, and they're always nice and fluffy, and I don't have to wash them as frequently. Of course, when you're getting out of the shower, you're clean, so your towels aren't really, hopefully they're not dirty, but they get kind of musty smelling. I love just putting a dryer sheet in there, hitting the start button every single time. I always have these nice, fluffy, good smelling towels coming out. So when we are about to exit here, another great feature of this coach is a full-length mirror. And I know it sounds kind of unnecessary, but it really is such a nice luxury to have. Now, once again, I have everything turned off in this bedroom except for the accent lighting. And the reason I wanted to do that is look at this beautiful soft glow that's coming down on either side of the headboard with the lambrequins. Now, one of the differentiating factors for RVing, okay, everyone hold on to your seats. A lot of people will come in and say they never open their windows. Yeah, they buy King Airs in Essex. They don't care about windows. They got bonded windows that don't open in their bedroom on either side of the headboard. Then you have other people who come in and go, Oh my God, how droll to ever buy a coach that does not have windows that open. In the London Aire model, you can get that ISX 15 and you can get that 605 horsepower engine on this beautiful Freightliner SL chassis with windows that open on either side, as well as a window that is behind Jody. I'll show that to you in a minute. So if you're looking for that cross ventilation and you're a window opening type of gal, this is your interior. Again, this black lattice work tied in with the onyx package that you find on either side is absolutely decadent. You have reading lights here below that are adjustable. You have grommets so that you can run anything out of this 110 outlet up above. There's 2 of them through the grommets down below. Of course, I've got all of my day shades pulled right now. Beautiful solid maple cabinetry throughout the coach. Again, in the Morel high gloss finish, but as you can see, just really nice, super robust hinges. You've got your nice supports here. You've got your beautiful inlay. One of the things that's really nice about this Camino interior is for a lot of people, they're looking for something kind of relaxing and neutral and also not quite as feminine. This doesn't have a wholly masculine overtone, but it's definitely not a girly coach. This coach is definitely a little more sporty, if you would. Now, as I lift up this mattress, I'm going to show you something that's kind of interesting here. And that is that you can see your extensions here, but there's no extra chairs. I cannot wait to show you why. Now below this storage underneath the mattress, you'll see I have the courtesy lights showing. They're really showing off how beautiful this flooring is. And then on the left here, you'll notice that moving forward, 2026 forward, we do not have carpet underneath the bed any longer. We don't even have carpet in the Ventana level. Now the Ventana does not have a cathedral ceiling. The Dutch Star does, but the Ventana used to be differentiated by carpet. It is no longer differentiated that way. There's a cutout here. It's hard for Jody to show you, but you could put a cord through there. You could run that out, put it into your 10 or your 110 outlets. There's 2 in here. There's also a Type A and a Type C USB port in this cabinet. Plenty of room for sultry novels as well as a water bottle. You could run those cords out and have plenty of room for a CPAP machine. And on either side of this bed, if you wanted to keep, you know, a box full of things that you don't use so often, like maybe some hiking boots, you know, maybe, you know, your extra, I don't know, your high heels that you don't bring out very often while you're camping, but you've got some kind of special event, there's some good storage on either side of this bed. The other thing to mention about either side of this bed is that there's a ton of tuck space here. So I constantly have people who are grumbling look at other manufacturers because they can't put their arm down here. I've got some big bangles down here, my hands all the way down. I'm touching underneath the mattress here. Now this is a soft touch, or I'm sorry, soft top mattress. It's a very nice kind of medium firmness mattress. We do not put a lot of air mattresses on our coaches because of the fact that here in the Rocky Mountains, if you have it, you know, set to high and you hit a 14,000 foot peak, you may pop your mattress. And of course, that means you're on the couch. We really like this mattress a lot. Here at Transwest, we have a store down the street that has an abundance of RV mattresses that are 72 by 80, which is the measurement of this mattress. This is an RV King 72 by 80. You've got to get the right sheets for it if you want a fitted sheet. Available for delivery. They'll actually come remove this mattress and then they'll put the new one in, and it costs about as much as an air mattress. Difference being, if the 2 of you are on the same page and you don't need to have the differentiation between the 2 sides, you can go down there and find your firmness and get that mattress replaced if this one's not to your taste. On my 2022 Newmar Superstar, I really expected to replace my mattress. I replaced the mattress in my 2020 Verona, but when I got my Superstar, I kept it, and honestly, I'm camping in it a lot. I looked at the Odo. It's in for service right now. It's actually at the house getting serviced and ready for the next Newmar rally that we're going to be attending in Creed. But it has 17,000 miles on it, so we use it quite a bit. And I don't know, the mattress is super comfy. Before you spend the money on the upgrade, I would definitely try this one out for a night or 2. There we go, sorry. Very strong magnets once again, and of course that's because it's holding this TV in place. Now this TV is powered by the Starlink system. So Starlink is going to be a great way to replace cable. So if you don't want to have Dish or DirecTV subscriptions and you want to have really good Wi-Fi, Starlink is fantastic. When you have the roof-mounted Starlink like you do for this coach, this is an in-motion capable Starlink. It also has 130 degrees of coverage versus 110, which is what you have on the residential. But other than that, they perform pretty similarly. They're the similar monthly cost as well. But something to keep in mind, you can pause your service now. So if you wanted to keep your roof-mounted service intact, but you wanted to also have the ability to run a residential Starlink out from underneath a canopy of trees, you could certainly do that and have a dual Starlink system on this coach. We do them all the time. We actually, I think, really pioneered Starlink. We started putting Starlink on top of coaches before Newmar did. And Andrew was really excited about it, and we've gotten better and better at it every year. So back here behind the TV, very excited little compartment here. This is an adjustable shelf. So this is really nice because you can store all sorts of goodies in there. All your gold bullion, your diamonds, your gems. You could put your gun and all of your bullets in your safe. You could keep your Rolex in there if you wanted to. But then another feature that I really like about this coach isn't just that it has this great strong magnet that pulls your 43-inch flat screen high definition TV into place and keeps it nice and locked. I love small drawer storage. All the room for your sunglasses, your wallets, all the room for the little knickknacks, your jewelry, your bracelets, the things that you bring that you always want to put back in the same place, because I've lost my engagement ring in my RV. It's the worst. You know, you want to bring it back and put it in the same place every time. I actually have a little jewelry dish with a pocket in it, so I always put it back. I wish I had a London Aire in so many ways. This is like absolutely, by the way, if you were going to ask me what my favorite RV is, it's the London Aire. This is the coach I would buy, and I would buy it without the 640 amp hours of lithium batteries that this one has on it. I'm not a lithium person. I know everybody else is. So for the record, this coach does have 640 amp hours of lithium. You could always expand that up to 960 if you're really into it. That's something we could do for you here at the dealership, so we don't put that whole package on there to begin with, because you might not need it. If you're pole to pole, for instance, you probably don't need it, for instance. I keep saying for instance. There's like a lot of memes online where they actually like make fun of all of us RV people and how many times we say the same word. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna win the for instance contest on this video. Anyway, I know you all make fun of us, but we really do try hard to bring you all of the information and show you all the goodies, like all of the fantastic deep drawer storage you have here in this bedroom. This is my favorite bedroom configuration. Of course, you have the party side of the bus on the front, so your starboard side. The port side is the business side, so I don't need a great big window, but having a window that actually opens is so nice. And then I'm gonna pull these blinds up, and I'm gonna use the new ATC system to do so. So the ATC system replaces the Silverleaf system, which is super nice. It replaces my Rosie. So all of those things that we used to use are different now. And so if I go ahead and right now I'm in my here's my kitchen, living room, bedroom, bathroom, and half bath. I can open everything from one touch of a button, or I could individually close my shades. So this is a really nice feature. You don't have to open everything at once, but you can. And you have control through ATC panels throughout the coach. So there's your opening window right above your dresser. And then you'll see here your emergency exit window is being shaded right now by the exterior awning. That awning is located on the opposite side of the wall of another storage bay overhead. Now this does have room for all of your cable inputs, all of your PlayStation, so you're all pre-wired. So if you want to be able to plug something in to your TV, it's very easy to do so. But you don't need to, because again, this is a 43-inch flat screen smart TV that has the ability to download apps. Now, I'm going to go ahead and close this door. As I mentioned earlier, so contemporary yet traditional at the same time. These really nice thick maple raised panel pocket doors give you great sound deadening qualities. So this is a really nice feature of the London Aire. The quality of the doors actually will help to mitigate the sound coming in. I wanted to mention also that we see this full tile floor all the way down on this full wall slide. This full wall slide is the only hydraulic slide in this coach. The two on the front are actually electric slides. I'm sorry, the two on the starboard side are actually electric slides. So this is one of our cogwheel slides. I'm gonna leave this slide out for this video so that I can show you underneath, but both the kitchen and the bedroom are running on this cogwheel. The cogwheel is bulletproof. For every single turn that goes around, it's a round thing that has some teeth that come off of it. They go into the little holes, so they're very much pulling the slide in and out on a very precise measurement. Every rotation is about a foot, so they know how many rotations to go in, how many rotations to go out. But the thing that's nice about it is it's not a cable that's going to get more elastic over the time and potentially stretch and not close and open as well. It requires so little service that they actually use these cogwheels to move all the heavy furniture around the shop at Newmar. If you ever have a chance to go on a factory tour, they'll point that out to you. So it's pretty fantastic. Now, as we cross through this really wide threshold into the galley area, you'll notice I've got the back of the couch out here. So this is the reason that you have the table leaf extensions. You could tell, like, I always talk about lip gloss in my videos. It's so important it's actually on the table. Kind of a goofy girl, you guys. At least I'm consistent. So here we go. So here is the reason you have the table leaf extensions. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about the extended booth dinette. I wanna tell you, I do love this dinette. You can see there's an extra cushion there. You still have things you need to store. They're not as big as chairs, but there is still a little storage involved. The benefit of the extended dinette is the fact that it becomes a booth. So if there's, 5 or 6 of you sitting around this booth, you can fit a few more people in because you can all slide in and kind of get comfortable. You also don't need to bring your chairs. If I was a gal using a coach that had a Euro booth, I don't think I would bring chairs either, but I've also got really nice camp chairs that I use outside, and I would not be opposed to bringing 1 or 2 inside if I had a simple Euro booth without the built-in booth. The downsides to the extended dinette, and these are things that you just have to weigh out for yourself, is the fact that there's no storage underneath. I keep my plates and my placemats and my napkins underneath my booth. So I would be kind of sad. On that note though, I love Pimpernel placemats, and there's a great place I could keep 8 Pimpernel placemats underneath there. I like them because they are corkboard and I can take them in and outside. They're a nice solid laminate on the top, and they're wider, so if I put a plate down on top of them, I can carry more stuff with me. So if I've got a big plate and I want to keep my napkin and my fork, I can actually keep them on my lap as opposed to trying to put them in like the cup holder of my camping chair. So just some things to think about. Like I said, everything is different for everybody. I try to point out features and benefits that I use in my day-to-day camping so that you can kind of figure out how you feel about them. One thing I want to talk about for certain is the fact that in the London Aire, you have all of this cabinet storage overhead. One of those $85,000 in specials that I have for my bunk model is that we've removed all of these cabinets, and we've even removed the lambrequins that are surrounding these windows to give you a big window view. Like I said, this is really the business side of the bus. Most of the time when I'm camping, I feel like there's some dude over there like sitting around his fire pit making breakfast, and I don't really want him to look at me, and I don't really want to look at him. So I'm not so interested in the windows on this side of the coach. I am absolutely interested in the windows on this side of the coach. This coach, especially considering that it has the kitchen on the starboard side, has fantastic windows. And I have the awning down on that side. I don't have it down on this side. The reason I'm doing this is just to kind of show you what kind of coverage you could have. This window, you can see on the outside, there's an arm. The whole entire bank of windows has actually got an awning that can cover this to keep the sun out. And as you can see right now, it's not necessary. It's that time of day where the sun is actually on the starboard side of the coach, not the port side. So this is pretty cool. A lot of people are smitten with this, and so this used to only be available on the Essex. So it is really nice that you can get the extended dinette on the London Aire. You cannot get the extended booth dinette on the full kitchen. So the one that has the big U kitchen, the 4596, it doesn't fit. So this is available. Also doesn't fit with a bunk model. So it's only available out of our 4 floor plans on two of them. This is the 4551. We're putting it on about half of our units. Again, we try to customize these coaches as much as possible, but we still have to make sure that they're kind of attractive to a wide breadth of people. So when you have a great kitchen like this, you need to start off by having fantastic storage. I'm gonna tell you, I have an Essex on order right now, 2026, that I'm just finalizing, and we took out the little bar that locks automatically in exchange for these. These are bulletproof. They're completely dovetailed. They are push to release drawers. They are fantastic. The other thing that is so amazing about this is when they moved to this in 2023, they gave me the ability to put this little guy over here, for instance, and I can fit a quart pot in here. I could fit a big frying pan in here. I can move it over so I'm kind of 3 and 3, and I can fit 2 frying pans in here. The configurations that you can come up with this are so fantastic. You can really make this so that you could have, for instance, 2 big frying pans, a big quart pot, plenty of cookie sheets so that you can use your convection and microwave oven. I mean, this is a really flexible space, and by putting everything sideways instead of stacking everything, you're preserving the life of your pans, and you're also conserving the amount of space you're using. The other thing that's really nice is the fact that this is a dual door, so you really have a huge pantry here where you can get all the way to the back very easily. Now, to the right of this, standard from London Aire all the way through to Baystar. No, I won't. I'll take that back. I think you have to get into the Northern Star before you can get to Whirlpool accessories. But this Whirlpool refrigerator is used throughout our product line because it's pretty fantastic. It's got a water dispenser on the door. It does not have an ice dispenser. You'll have to move into Essex or King Air to get the ice dispenser on the door. But you've got a nice ice maker down below. This is a 19.7 cubic foot refrigerator and freezer combo. It has a huge deep basin in here. We also have the outside refrigerator and freezer combination, so lots and lots of room for drinks and storage here. But that water filter in the back is for your ice and for your door water, which means that you don't have to bring your Brita with you. You also have the Prosecco shelf. I know it sounds silly, but come on, you guys. None of us can drink a whole bottle of champagne for breakfast, or we're not getting any hiking done that day. So if you want to open a bottle of, champagne so you can have a proper mimosa on a Sunday morning, you can put it back so that when you get done with your hike, you can have another one. Brilliant, brilliant, I say. Of course, these are all lockable. This is my big angst with Newmar, is they make it so seamless and attractive. You have to always check your refrigerator because you can't tell. On the Renegades, it's got like a big red, like I'm unlocked. I need that. I'm a little dingy. Okay, so we're not gonna go to the stool room yet. We're gonna go from the kitchen to the kitchen. So one of my favorite aspects of this coach is the corkscrew and bottle opener drawer. Shot glasses, Belvedere. I mean, does it get any better? Then you've got your sponge drawer. I've decided I know what to put in all of these. I'm kind of envisioning my bunk model Essex, or my bunk model London Aire. Scrubbies, sponges. I use a baby bottle brush because I don't like to have to touch the wet, icky sponge. I do not qualify for a stainless steel wastebasket, which is fine because I would actually take this wastebasket and put it in the powder room. And then I would probably get a bigger one here, cut the top of it off, and use it in this side for the pull-out. There's some plumbing underneath here. So do you see that little dangle-dongle thing hanging down? I'm pretty sure I sold the last custom London Aire that I built to my good friends, Eric and Kathy. And we were just so disappointed because this faucet doesn't have a spray and pour feature. Well, it does, but it doesn't have the pull down. And Eric looked underneath there and he's like, Katie, it has the things that you need. It has that little dingle dongle that hangs down as if you have a pull-out faucet. Ooh, there's that great black undermount sink I mentioned, which is ironic because it's called Blanco. I think that means white, but anyway, look at that. Look at that, folks. Is that like the coolest? I mean, I hate to tell you this, but that outdoes the Essex. So the Essex has my favorite faucet set in it. It's like brushed brass and nickel together, so it's got the two-tone golds. But I mean, this definitely is the coolest faucet that Newmar makes right now. Okay, more cabinet space. Again, adjustable shelves, really setting the bar here, allowing you to have flexibility. And they're metal. They're not like some chintzy thing. They're metal adjustable shelves, so you can put heavy stuff up there. This is a great place, in my estimation, to put in a coffee pot and a crock pot. If you want to do like any kind of, nice stew or, chicken or chili while you're, out hiking for the day, you always have your crock pot with you. Great place to keep your crock pot and your coffee pot. You could probably even fit a small toaster oven in that ensemble. This would probably live at home in my barn. Yep, that's what the outbuilding's for. Cars and RV crap, that's what we put in there. Spices are up top here. I can fix this for you. These are supposed to stay open. We had to put stronger one on Kathy and Eric's London Aire because we use the spice rack all the time, right? That's a great place to keep all your spices, but it has to stay open. Then we have this, so you no longer have to bring your air fryer with you because your air fryer is built in. I want to say this is not a small area. Everyone always goes, oh my God, that's so small. It's actually quite large when you take out the assembly pieces, but let's be real, folks. You get those little cookie trays that you use, you put one of those on there with your biscuits. That's plenty of room. You've got a place to do your tater tots, your crisp cut fries, all that stuff. Plenty of room in the microwave, convection, and air fryer that you have. Again, all the Whirlpool accessories are available on the London Aire. And then when you move up to Essex, you don't get your True Induction cooktop. Now you'll always get the nice cutting boards on the top of the covers, but the True Induction cooktop is removable. This is clutch. I use really nice pots and pans on my True Induction cooktop. They're all clad. They're also out of Indiana, just like this coach. But when I put this outside, I can set it to 360 degrees no matter the altitude. It's going to get to exactly 360 degrees. It doesn't matter if it's breezy. I don't have to worry about the propane Coleman stove. If I have a propane Coleman stove and it's gusty, that can lower the temperature. On the True Induction outside, I can fry eggs, I can make my bacon exactly the same way every single time. And then I can also put my covers back inside. So if I've got my Bloody Mary and mimosa bar going on the inside, and I'm making you some French toast while we're outside, I can still have all of my great, accoutrement on the inside laid out for all of my guests. If you couldn't tell, I do like to entertain both at home and on the road. And one of the things that's great about this coach is all of the counter space. I love this feature. There's also an outlet here, an outlet here, and an outlet here. So I want to mention the fact that these features that you see on this coach, if you are buying a lower level Newmar, it's not that you can't have those things. It's that when you get to this echelon, when you get to this level of coach, things become standard that are normally extra. So the London Aire, the Mountain Aire, the King Aire, and what's the other one? London Aire, Mountain Aire, King Aire, Summit Aire, and the Essex. Those, I gotta include Summit Aire now, because now we've got a new level of luxury line, right? So that Summit Aire is also the equivalent to the London Aire. They come standard with more things like in-floor heating, like power blinds. It's really important. It's not that we're catching up to the RV industry, it's just that we charge more as a standard feature. And one of the things that's really nice about that is if you are really in the market for a high-end luxury coach and you don't want to cheap out and get, like an Integra that doesn't have the build quality of Newmar, but you want like push-button release bay doors outside, I'll order the coach for you with the push-button release doors that are outside. I can take the cabinets out if you want to have that Essex gigantic window look, because that's what is, available. That's the type of camping you do. Maybe you've got a place, that you own at a lakeside that has a port side view. All of those things can be specialed in and ordered for you specifically. I do not charge you more for a coach in stock than I do a coach that is on order. One of the benefits that you get with Transwest is that you can also trade in your truck, your fifth wheel, and your boat towards your Newmar. We are a very large organization, and we can take multiple trades, not just RVs, towards your purchase. So these are things just to consider when you're looking at it. And one of the things to be really cognizant of is you can save a lot of money by custom ordering exactly the coach you need instead of getting all of those superfluous options on there that you wouldn't necessarily get. And then you can add in the ones that you really want. Okay, so again, adjustable shelves. Here you can see a great place to keep your salsa and of course your guacamole, your chips. One of the things that Newmar does, I think, that is so clutch is when you open this drawer, by looking at it, you'd go, wow, that's a really big drawer. No, it just would look really dumb if it was that small next to the cabinet. So there is your best junk drawer ever, or honestly, I'm thinking spatulas, maybe some sharp cutting knives. I don't know, junk drawer maybe in here, or wait, let's go for the home run, the deepest one of them all. Maybe you have the junk drawer down there. Everyone has to have a junk drawer, let's be real. And then of course, a nice place to keep all of the remotes. So you'll see we have a remote for the television in the the television in the bedroom, the television outside, the television on the pop-up televator, and the television in front. We have 2 Bose soundbar remotes as well. The Bose soundbar is so amazing because you could just stream your own music. You also will find that we have the flagpole bracket, and then we have extra paint. And then this coach was ordered with, this is the remote that you can put everything into one remote. I would never use that because I would just never take the time to program it. I'm just not that gal. This is pretty fantastic. Anyone have some champagne goblets that they want to have wine stem holders for? Awesome. You want to be able to keep your silverware in the drawer instead of keeping it in this drawer? That's what I would do. That's where we keep our silverware whenever we're out camping. It always just goes back in the drying rack. It's not really a washer or dishwasher for us when we're camping. It is really much more of a drying rack. But as you can see, very functional kitchen, tons of storage. It may have more than enough for you without the booth storage underneath because it has all of these cabinets up above for your glass and stemware. I would recommend, I have a lady who bought an Essex from me, and we were talking about how we have all these like little plastic bins that we keep everything in so things don't go tipping over or spill. So I would recommend keeping some kind of separator in here so that you can keep all of your coffee cups and your wine goblets, your beer steins separate so that they're not clanking into each other going down the road, because of course that kind of noise is a little annoying. Okay, before we go into the half bath, I want to kind of cover what's cool about the ATC system. I know what Jody's going to say is the coolest thing. Cool mode. Yeah, he's nodding. Jody does not like a hot coach. The first thing I did this morning was find my London Aire, come over, turn on all the lights the way I like to have them set, and turn on cool mode for Jody, because if I bring Jody into a hot coach, he's just going to go home early for the day. Everything is on the screen. It is so much cleaner than what it was with Silverleaf. All of your light controls are so easy to adjust. Living room on, cool. Check this out. So now this is fully illuminated. Look at the difference here. So bright. Maybe too bright for coming home at night, right? So one of the things I like about this is I can dim these. So I can change the level of light on this ATC panel very easily. And I can turn individual things on and off. Exterior, you'll have here, as you can see, you can lock and unlock your entry, your cargo, and then all of your doors. You've got your lights for the driver security side, the passenger security side, and the awning. You also have your awning control here for your entry door. So this is to open and close the awning above the door. You also can see here we've got our AC and DC power very clearly displayed. You can see where your power is coming from. And then now we have a Merlin solar system. The benefit of the Merlin solar panels is it used to be where if you'd have a portion of the panel blocked, it may not give you all of the benefit that you would normally be garnering from the panel. So the Merlin panels are 120 amps, a total of 4 panels for 480 amps versus the 110s that they used to have on the top of the Newmars, that were integrated into this system. But the real benefit is that 480 amps, although it still isn't a huge amount of solar, is going to be functional more frequently, because even if there's partial shade on it or there might be a leaf that has dropped down onto it, it's not going to completely stop that panel from working. It's going to work into all of the area around it. One thing I would encourage you to note is people say, you know, what do you need to do for your coach for service and maintenance? One of the things you need to add to your to-do list is to clean off your solar panels with just a nice water and maybe a little Meyer soap, like nothing too stringent. The people at the panel system, when we called ZAMP, said that they just used water to clean them, but you do want to clean them off every once in a while, because as they start to develop a film and kind of that dirt that you get from camping, you're going to, of course, have less solar coming into those panels, giving you that, you know, that extra power going into your batteries. Okay, so systems. You can see our voltage, you can see your amperage, you can see where everything's coming through. You can look at your battery management system as well. And then again, all of your power systems in one place. Your floor heat for all 3 zones. And as you can see, you can do high, medium, and low. And then there's also going to be your fan control for your kitchen, your bathroom, and the half bath. So this is the one that I showed you earlier. The kitchen one, of course, still has that nice morel solid maple cover on it. It's right there above the kitchen. And then there's one here in this stool room, which we'll get to in a second. Shade control for everything, all in one space. Again, you can do all night, all day. You can do individual. Climate control, of course, you can set per zone. So if you want a cool bedroom but a warm house, you could put the, you know, the galley a little differently, and then everything on one screen. The biggest deal with this is that you are going to have the availability to do this also on your phone. So that integrated app on your phone works much better with our Lithionics system as well. So this coach, the 320 amp hour batteries or the 640 amp hour battery that you can get with Lithionics is going to be available on an app on your phone. But the BMS system, the battery management system, works much better with ATC, which is the reason that Newmar's moved to that product line across the board. Okay, so this little guy here is a magnet. When you push this, it pulls the magnet in. If you try closing the door and you're holding this handle, it's holding the magnet in. The door is not going to shut. You need to push on this side to get the door to latch. Okay, so in here, as mentioned before, I don't have any extra lights on. I only have the mirror light and the accent lights. I, again, just want to show off how nice and soft this coach can be. This is one of the best things about Newmar is their lighting systems. Another great feature though, like this little chain. So it's not something that's gonna grow over time. It's a little chain that keeps you from hitting your towel holder. Again, huge thing here. Look at how svelte this is. Look at how sleek and sexy. This is such a beautiful faucet set. I also love the fact that this is a seamless undermount sink. I love the fact that I've got natural light coming in right here, even between my awnings, so I can do my makeup. I've got a nice opening window here. Again, the Newmar London Aire is my #1 coach, especially since they make a bunk model. And by the way, I'm ordering a bunk model for stock. I got Brian's permission. I'm gonna take a hybrid of the 2 that I'm building right now and order one for inventory. It'll still be really special, but I just love this coach. And then as you can see, if I'm doing my makeup, I could have all of my makeup in here. I can have my magnifying mirror. I've got my nice glowy, visible Dometic flush here. And then up here, conveniently located out of everyone's way, are the brains of the operation. And as you can see, everything is so well labeled with a label maker. There's no, you know, there's no electrician scrawl on the sides. It's all nice and tidy, very easy to see. And there are spare fuses here, and there's spare fuses basically at all the fuse panels throughout. And again, your rain sensing fan up there overhead. Super, super clutch. Okay, so I think that we've covered the kitchen. Let's move into the living room. Opposing seating. This is a really nice feature. Does anybody have a big dog? Does anybody have a big dog that thinks it belongs on the couch? What a cool feature this is for that dog. So if you've got a big dog, or maybe you've got like, I have, oh, why can't I get this going? There we go. I have 3 French bulldogs. They all think that they're big dogs. They would love this. They're not allowed on the furniture. Well, I should say, they actually have They have their own chaise lounge. It's in their puppy area, but that's the only furniture they're allowed on. In this coach though, I would put all their doggy beds here. They would be so happy. So this is a nice little jackknife. Again, 110s, Type C, Type A USB ports on either side. I am gonna go into systems up here. And again, this is one of the nicest aspects of this coach, is that you can go through and actually control everything for your coach from all sorts of different places. But I'm gonna put my TV lift up. So again, this is a 50-inch flat screen smart TV. This smart TV is going to be on the same remote as that smart TV. So people always say, why do you have 2 TVs in this area? That TV might be for maybe if you're eating breakfast and you have your extended dinette out and the 2 of you are having, you know, a nice work morning where you're waking up and watching the news. Maybe you'll watch that television. This is more for like movie night. This TV is for when you're driving down the road. This TV is because you're not supposed to have your 50-inch flat screen up on the televator while you're driving. I know. Everyone's like, oh, that's such a bummer. Jody, I broke it. Okay, I'm gonna charge 0.3 hours of tech time for that, you guys. Sorry, that's an inside joke. No, honestly, if I have to adjust a cabinet, it's always 0.3 hours. I'm sure that would have been 0.3 hours to adjust the cover. Okay, so this is my favorite thing about this coach. Okay, I just showed you the jackknife, right? So you can have little Bobby and Susie over here, and then you can have their parents with you. So you don't have to take the grandkids solo. You can actually have someone, you know, that's responsible for them, watching them, and you can give them the privilege of camping with you without having to take full responsibility of them. Because this coach has, no kidding, sorry, you have to wait for it because it takes a few seconds to set it all up, but it's worth the wait. Jody, do you know why I have the driver's side window open? Because there was a bee in here. I think it flew out. I can hear I-25 behind us. For the record, folks, we're located off of I-25, just outside of the Denver International Airport. Denver International Airport is the second largest airport in the entire world. I don't care where you live. There's a flight that comes into DIA. We will be more than happy to allow you to fly in, do a full delivery of your coach, take it out for the weekend, leave it here, come back, pick it up, do a Rocky Mountain tour. We're so accommodating. We do have on-site camping for you to learn your RV, but we also have the best camping all around us in the Rocky Mountains. So this is a great place to start your delivery because you can take the long way home. I just had to be patient. All right, so as you can see, this is the coolest feature of this coach. You can have a huge guy in this, like a 6-foot person could fit in this RV. And what's so nice is it still has all the walking room. So super, super clutch there. Really big height of bed. This is of course nestled below some fantastic storage up above. Again, for anybody who's looking for an RV where they can keep all the board games, you can keep all the board games in here. The reason I'm not opening this one at the same time as this one is because they would intersect. So they'll just open that one separately. They kind of, right about there they hit. But mental note, it's really funny. I think that they should put a big sign on the toilet that says do not flush napkins or paper towels into your macerator toilet. I almost think I should just get onto Etsy and make a sign for that, because there's a few little things that you have to tell people, like don't open both of those cabinet doors at the same time, and don't put a paper towel in your macerator. If you do put a paper towel in your macerator, the cool news is we've got a guy named Bill Habercorn. Whenever someone has a problem, I'm like, did you call Bill? I was actually on the Super C forum, and my friend Julie and her husband Kirk were going out on their Superstar that I sold him, and he was asking questions like, does anyone know how to replace the gray tank sensor or have a video on it. And I was like, hey, did you guys call Bill? And they're like, oh my gosh. So they had an appointment. They talked to him. They got it all handled. But if you buy a coach from Transwest Truck Trailer RV, we don't have a department. We have a guy. You know what's nice about having a guy? There's no finger pointing. It's Bill's department. Bill is the department. Bill answers all the questions. Bill knows all the stuff. And that's all Bill does. Bill's not doing other stuff. Bill literally is helping you with your trashy questions, with your chassis questions. Bill's helping you with your house questions. Bill is helping keep you on the road camping so that you don't have to lose time while you're camping because you're stopping at a shop to fix something you could have fixed yourself. So this is the London Aire tag information. I printed all of this out for you because I think it's important to talk about all of the different features that we have. V-Ride on the Freightliner chassis, Ultra Steer on the Freightliner chassis, Road Watch, Drive Tech, Brake Sync. All of these features are really, really important. And all of the information is delineated in a very nice sheet that you can read. 20,000 pound towing capacity. All of the stuff you need to know is right here. And there's information on how everything works. So it's funny, I told the guys, oh, like look at that OptiView, and then showing you how your Drive Tech steering wheel works. I just love pictures, I love information. I told the guys though, I printed out the one for the Essex, so I had to go back because previously in my world, Spartan had everything. I love Freightliner. We are a Diamond Elite dealership, which means that we get a higher allocation of tech time for diagnosis. It means that we get more inexpensive next day air shipping. Freightliner has 11 parts distribution centers across the country, so things get to us really fast. And we are a fully certified Freightliner chassis shop, Onan shop, Cummins shop, Allison, I mean, all of the things here at Transwest, as well as Prevost, Newmar, Renegade, Winnebago. So this is a great place to buy a coach. Something worth mentioning, so 105 gallons of fresh water, 80 gallon gray water tank, 60 gallon sewer tank. It has SaniCon, which means if you fill up that 60 gallons of gray water and you want to pump it into a drain, you can do that through a hose. Very cool. I actually have a pretty neat setup too for anyone who wants to use a hose for that type of reason, that has a clear fitting so that you can see what's coming through it. If you need that, just get my number off of the video. 50,000 BTU furnace, of course that's the Oasis dual loop Chinook system, 20,000 pound towing capacity, 605 horsepower, 1,950 foot-pounds of torque, a 15 gallon def tank. This has a 12.5 quiet diesel generator, so you know, big Cummins Onan generator. It's a 44 foot long coach, 4410. The height is 13 feet 4 inches tall. And the tag, check this out. The Superstar tag is 345 inches. The tag on this coach, I'm sorry, the Superstar, what's the word I'm looking for, Jody? Wheelbase is 345 inches. The wheelbase on this coach, no kidding, because it has that passive tag axle, is only 292 inches. This thing turns on a dime compared to my RV. It's incredible. I've already mentioned multiple times that we have the 2 Xantrex inverters, which is new for 2026, the 4 Merlin panels, the 2 Lithionics ion batteries that can be upgraded to 960 instead of 640, which is what's on this coach, if you feel that it's necessary. We have not looked at the Star Foundation outside yet, but we will do so. I also think I mentioned multiple times that you are looking at a very beautiful interior of this coach. I really think that, you know, some people go, well, gray is out. Okay, well then don't get a gray one. But if you want, I think what is so popular these days in the marketplace, really the Morel interior is such a great looking coach, or great looking interior. And this paired with the Camino, which is the full gray leather. Now in 2025, we started using actual leather. I watched a video where someone said this is soft. It's definitely got a nice soft palate, but you know what it really feels like? It feels durable. It feels thick. It feels like if you had a dog, you wouldn't have to worry as much about having the Villa furniture on here because it's a more robust material. It also looks thick, like where you can see there's like a little guy here that you use to adjust the height of your armrest. You can see even in this stitching here, it's just thicker. It's just a really nice Italian leather. It does have a nice soft handle to it, but again, it's just a little more robust. So if you're looking for something that's gonna handle your animals long-term a little bit better, you can. Okay, so the window's open, the bee is gone. I'm gonna go ahead and close this. Oh, I have to get the coach turned on. Do that. While I'm waiting for that to cycle up. Up here you'll see our Newmar customer brand specialist, Rick Drinkwine. That dude's awesome, by the way. I've had him involved in multiple things, not just London Aire stuff. Like, he'll jump in and solve a lot of problems for us. He's a really good person. He is like Bill Habercorn at Newmar for the London Aire, and that's just another part of the support network that you have here. This coach parking lot here is where our campground is. It's accessible after hours, so you can see we close off the parking lot for the private area in the evening, but our campground is accessible. There's 30 and 50 amp plugs back here. That's where you would camp to get set up. And then over here, I wanted to just show, so we have this coach at travel right now. You can adjust the ride height, you can lower it or raise it. We were able to raise the ride height. I would measure it for you on each coach if you want, but I had a client that was concerned about getting in and out of his driveway, and this was superior actually to the Spartan chassis in terms of the ability to raise the ride height of this coach, which is really important. The HWH computer leveling system is showing you that we're nose forward and starboard, so we're tilting that direction. We are in travel mode. Our hydraulic levelers are not down. We are also in travel mode on the Freightliner system, which means our air leveling system is not engaged. You can air level this coach on a pitch like this or a slope. You would use your hydraulics as opposed to your air leveling. On a more mild slope though, you can level this coach not only while you're driving, but also while you're on your pad with air leveling. Up above here, you'll just see, again, very conscientious ability to hide the fact that these are some smaller cabinets. Of course, they're smaller because your shade is right here underneath, right? So it's giving you that shade room. But above it, where you don't need it, you can have your speaker wired into that compartment, and you have your shade mounted here. All of these shades are power shades. There's a day and a night shade. They come down in this nice track, very easy to operate. Some other things worth mentioning on this coach: nice cup holder storage here. You've got a pocket down here. You could keep if you wanted to have a Thomas's Guide or some kind of birding book, you could keep that there. You've got an air horn or your parking lot horn, which is very nice of you. Power mirrors with heat. You also have ATC override. That's active traction control. So if you wanted to do some, burnouts, you could turn that off and then, burn out on your coach. No, honestly, it would be because you're stuck somewhere. It would allow you to have grip on both wheels without having power diversion. Over here on the left-hand side, you'll see that little triangle. That means use caution. You're going under 26 miles an hour. It can't tell you whether or not there's somebody in your blind spot, but this coach does have blind spot indicators. It also has an indicator, so when you're turning, oh look, you can see it in the mirror, and you can see it in the headlight, and you can see it in the mirror over here. That's kind of fun. We can see it in the reflection of Avin's van. This is your Kurt Spectrum brake integrator. This is a trailer brake. It's electronic versus your brake sync, which is going to be something you would usually have installed where you had Air Force One. The nice thing about that is if you do have that installed, you can actually use your tire pressure monitoring system and have that tow vehicle down here. And this is expandable to up to 12 different sensors, so you can have 3 additional units with brake sensors paired to this coach. Of course, not all at the same time if you've got any brain cells, but individually, if you've got a horse trailer that you pull sometimes, and you've got maybe a toy trailer that has like your side-by-side on it, and then you have your Jeep, you could have sensors on all of those products, and they would integrate into this system. You've got your fuel gauge, your depth gauge here, and I know I went through that kind of quick, but there's all of these different features that you can see here. So you can see road watch for your cruise control. This is your lane of travel. It shows you where your coach is in respect to the other people in front of you. You've got a headway warning distance. So in other words, if you're too close to someone, it'll give you a notification. You can set how far away you want to have that. I think near is good because it's only going to show you when you get too close. Your intelligent high beams are going to turn your high beams on and off over or around bends. So if you're going around a twisty pass and someone's coming towards you, it will automatically dim your high beams. Your lane departure warning can be set to, I'm going to do low sensitivity and turn it back on. People always turn it off for the test drives, but it's actually a pretty handy thing. And then we're going to go into your steering effort. So there's two ways to get there. I can either choose to select OK here, or I can take the shortcut. And this is where I'm going to get into Comfort Drive. Comfort Drive is super, super important. Comfort Drive basically takes this coach and it makes it so that when you are turning your wheel, let's see if I can get this to do it, you'll see, so you see how it's turning automatically back to straight? So this will automatically go with a bias towards straight. You go ahead and put it back into reverse. It'll also do that while you're in, oh, why is my tag dumped? Did I dump my tag? I didn't even dump my tag. Anyway, so it'll also give you the bias to go straight when you're in reverse. One of the reasons I mention this is because if you talk to Newmar or to Freightliner, especially if you talk to Joe, the #1 place that people get in accidents is in reverse. So having a steering system that will actually guide you straight into a hole is very handy with Comfort Drive. Comfort Drive's main design is to electronically keep this steering wheel going straight while you have gale force winds coming at you from either side. This, when you know the difference, is the tagline for Newmar. This is the #1 biggest difference maker on this coach, is its ability to not have driver fatigue after a 4 or 5 hour drive in crosswinds. Very, very important stuff. So we could go through this all day long. There's so much to go through. You know, additional gauges, you can look at your transmission temperature, your oil pressure, your coolant temperature, your engine load, what gear you're in. So there's just so many things to go through this, but you can also just turn it off and have a big thing telling you you're going too fast. And of course, you don't normally have to worry about that, but when you're in an ISX, you can go too fast. The other thing that we're going to talk about here is in 2026, we have rain sensing wipers. Fantastic. This is how you turn them on. This is your turn signal. This is for your pedals so that you can move your pedals in and out. Of course, I have to have them all the way out because I'm vertically challenged. But if you're a really tall guy and you want to be able to sit closer to the steering wheel, you can do so because you've got adjustable pedals. Also worth mentioning is your engine brake on high shows you you're on high, medium, and low. It also shows you where your cell phone is and what kind of charge it has on it. It also has a place for you to wirelessly charge your phone while you're going down the road. All of these things are so convenient. Another great feature of this chassis is the way that you can change these dials towards you. The other place you're going to see where you have these adjustable dials that you can move around is going to be on, for instance, a Sprinter van or any of the other higher end Mercedes. These are great because you can just get them pointed right towards you, or you can give them to a friend, you know, so if your husband's always hot and you're always cold, you can split them over his direction while you're driving, however you want to do it. Oh, that's why my tag is dumped. My tag was on tag dump. I'm going to undump it and leave it on for a second. A house and chassis battery boost, very conveniently located right here. If you need to use your house to start your coach, you can do that boost right there. Your generator start is also very conveniently located. The front fan, high, low, and off. This is talking about the speed of the fan for the hydronic heat. This is not for the overhead fans. Overhead fans are for right here. This is how you turn them on and off. And this is where the controls are for the speed. You can turn your docking lights on here. You can lock and unlock your doors from here. Visor and shade controls, all of your air conditioning, and then these really two nice drawers that you have to be able to store your keys. Your keys are on a remote. They have lock and unlock as well as bay controls, so you can use this outside. You could also use the control at the door to unlock your basement doors, and then you have push button start. If you need to have memory programmable seating positions, we're going to have to get you a King Air. The things that I cannot modify on this coach chassis, I cannot give you memory programmable seats, and I cannot give you a heated steering wheel. What I do have on this coach though, if you look down below, are ventilated and heated seats with a full recliner. So when I say a full recliner, you know, this isn't just for when you're facing forward. Both of these coaches, or both of these seats, can become integrated into your living room. So if you do have company and they want to hang out and watch a movie with you, you can turn the driver's seat around and they'll have a full recliner. So for those of you that go, oh my God, I don't want a couch, I want recliners. Okay, your recliners are right here. You still have recliners. You don't have to get them. The theater seats, you could only fit 2 people and some small dogs. That couch, you could fit like 5 people on that couch. I mean, I don't know, I like a party, I'm just saying. All right, so this is not the queen seat. This is the standard seat, again, with air, with hot and cold adjustments, I should say, cooled and heated seats. For those of you that want something where your arms are on the armrest, this is probably gonna be a little bit better. Now, when you put the step cover out, you could put your cat in there, and then you don't have to worry about it going wild while you're driving. No, I'm just kidding. Don't put your cat in the step cover. It's designed so your kitty does not fall down the step well. So I like that. We also have the, oh shit, I lost the Jeep, honey, camera. Very handy if you need to look back behind you and see what's going on and you are the navigator and maybe not the driver. You can see that right there. You can also wirelessly charge your phone. You've got 110 and USB type A and type C outlets there. Also another window, and I know you're gonna laugh at me, but I really thought that this one went up and down so that you could put beer through it. Apparently, you only need to hand out 1 beer. So this is the beer pass-through. This is so that you can keep your screen closed while you're driving or while you're parked, and then you can keep it open while you're driving so you can look out the window. I really think though you could hand out over, I mean, that's like a whole 12 pack versus like the single. Like, why would you just hand out 1 beer when you could hand out a whole 12 pack? I'm just saying. All right, now all jokes aside though, there is a fire extinguisher down here. There's also this little button here. This is for the hydraulic steps. So if your steps get stuck and they don't come out all the way, you can push and hold this and it will cycle through your hydraulic step. Sometimes my step gets hung up on the cover, and if that happens, I just push and hold that and it'll make the step go in and out. I never talk about that. I always should. I don't know why I don't. All lights on and all lights off. Super clutch here. So as you're gonna see, I am gonna show you the outside really quick before we come in and close all the slides. But I'm gonna go ahead and turn all the lights off real quick. Bam, so you can see that. And then Jody, just before we bring the slides in, I wanna show out here this cogwheel system. So underneath here, so we do have the underslide lighting in here as well on the LED lights, but here's that cogwheel system I was mentioning. So this is not a hydraulic slide, it's a cogwheel system. But the other thing I wanted to show, oh, I gotta hit the unlock button. Okay, so there's a few different ways. I can go like this and unlock all the bay doors with just a button, or I could use the remote, or I could use the button there. But what I wanted to show is that if you are camping, and I never get to show this because I always put this slide in before we go in, you can access your cooler. So there's that 3 cubic liter cooler system. These can be set separately or the same as each other. By the way, one of the specials I have on that London Aire is to remove the shelves through the rest of these bays. So I can take these out if you don't want them. In 2021, they started putting that shelf in there. I think it's really handy. But I can take them out. Okay, let's go back inside really quick. Little preview of the Onyx package. Jody, you can go first. I'm gonna go ahead and bring the slides in. Okay, I guess I'll go first. Oh, I hate walking upstairs in front of the camera, my big old butt. All right, so let's go ahead and bring this slide in. So this is your hydraulic slide. So you can see that raising. And after it raises, it's gonna slide all the way in. And you know, I know that it's not a huge deal, but it really is. Look at the robustness of this chain mechanism on the slide. It's just very impressive. Very, very impressive. And then we're gonna go ahead and do the electric slide over here with the cogwheel. Bring that in. See if I can get my awnings to come back out. They got mad because I turned the engine on, so they popped in. The step when you put the coach into drive will actually retract, which is handy. And if you start the coach and you forgot to bring your awnings in, they will automatically come in. I think that they're actually going back out right now. I rarely get to do awnings because it's always windy here. So today's a nice day. It's not too windy. Okay, so now I'm walking all the way back, and I just want to show quickly access to the pantry, access to the refrigerator, which is locked, and then access to the bathroom. So yeah, and I can even central back. I can sweep while we're driving. I can make you a sandwich. I can microwave you a burrito. I could bake you some cookies. All the things. All the things. So when we get outside, one of the things that we're going to see is the Hampshire graphics. I have to tell you, the Hampshire graphics are sexy. I am super impressed with Newmar's paint colors this year. Sometimes I get a hold of them and I'm like, ew. And sometimes I'm like, wow. So we are having a wow moment right now. We really, really like the graphics that they have available for this model year. If you don't though, you can always custom order them. Okay, so now our living room is deployed. Look at this, there's LED lights all the way down here. And if there's a tree over here or there's a tree over here, you don't have to do both awnings, you could just do one. So this is a really, really nice feature. Oh shoot, look at it, even put the door awning in automatically, but there's what the lights look like, little booger. Okay, so before we go to the back, let's cover Onyx package, right? No windshield wipers in the front, that's luxury. Anything Mountain Air up, you're gonna have that luxury package. Onyx package, all black instead of chrome, everywhere. Really well done, really well thought through. Now you'll see here, we have this little guy here, that's your radar. That's gonna be for your distance-based cruise control. We went to a Silver Star headlight in 2024. Oh, I think 2024. That gave you better illumination at night. Oh, we already did this one. Let's go past that one to door number 2. Okay, so it's kind of funny. It's not like, so this is what we would call the bougie package, right? So wherever you have like, so now you've got power sliding trays as opposed to manual. I'm actually a manual fan, folks, just so you know. This is 60% though, so I can get to the middle of this tray in this full slide pass-through from either side. And the reason I have power is because I'm on a coach that supports power bays. I can put these on lower level coaches. They just don't come as a standard option. I can also do a non-power tray here. And again, I can move these trays over. So if you feel like you would have better use of this space, and maybe you wanted to put something tall, there is going to be that chassis rail. So the Star Foundation is raising this coach up off of the chassis rail. And so this extra space that you have here, if you wanted to have it open, I could delete the tray in this compartment. But here you can see that Star Foundation. So you've got this beautiful Freightliner SL chassis and then this fantastic Star Foundation. And underneath that, on top of that Star Foundation, they actually put your tile together on a tile board that is heated and air conditioned, or I should say conditioned, not just air conditioned, heat controlled, so that it's going to cure at the proper temperature. They put your electric current for your heated floors underneath. They set that all in grout and then they bake it to the right temperature so it cures faster and more appropriately than it would if it was being set while that coach was going down the line. Again, if you haven't been on a Newmar factory tour, you really shouldn't buy an RV. You should really go there first and then go to Alabama and look at the difference and tell me what kind of coach you want to buy. Because if you know the difference, you're only buying one. Or you're buying a Prevost because you have more money than I do. But whatever, good for you. Oh, don't forget the TV. Okay, 43-inch flat screen TV again with your outside sound bar. To the left of it, you do have your 110 USB and type A and C as well. There are awning controls by remote. There's also some manual packages right above the door, so that's important to know. Your road vac is got the extra hoses down here. Again, with this having more floor, which is that all tile floor and that kick plate, you probably don't need to use those hoses as much. And then that's your air line for your air compressor so you can inflate your tires. And then of course some extra tile for you and an emergency slide opener. Again, so underneath we got our cogwheel. You can also see this docking light is nestled right above a side side assist sensor. So that blind spot assist sensor is right there below that light. And then again, one of the big upgrades for 2025, and again, this is a 26, but last year we went to this system where you could have access to all of your fuse panels and do your diagnostic very easily without having to, dig through and find stuff. And these are all really nicely accessible with just a twist. So you don't have to have a screwdriver to get into your fuses if you're doing troubleshooting with either Bill or Mr. Drinkwine at the Newmar factory. All of that being said, big, black, sexy Amish racing wheels. This is a forward driving axle, again, 296-inch wheelbase because this Audi in the back pivots. So you've got 6 wheels back here, or 6 tires back here, 2 in the front for a total of 8. And this pivoting tag axle gives you that extra support, which gets you that 20,000 pound towing capacity while still getting you that really nice traction going down the road. And please note, these are 315s in the rear. So this is a big tire, big, wide stance, lots of grip, lots of cushion. So the bigger that sidewall is, the more cushion you have. So a great driving experience. This is the first side of your 15-gallon DEF tank. Oh, I didn't show where the fuel was. The fuel in the front for the 150 gallons of diesel is right next to the door. I'll show it to you on the other side. This is that egress door that I was mentioning where you could just hand things up. And then back here in the Freightliner, it's kind of interesting. I didn't know this. If you turn your chassis off, this actually, they kind of link together, and the technician can lock it so no one turns it on while he's working on the coach. There's a nice little diagnostic port here. They can actually do a lot of things with mobile diagnostics as long as you have Wi-Fi, and of course this coach has Starlink, so diagnostics has come a long way. But the reason you'd want to have that is because with the 24/7 Direct app, you can really get a lot of great customer service by calling that 800 number. It's funny, when I sold the last London Aire to Kathy and Eric, we called the 800 number and I went back through my voice. He didn't answer. It went to voice and I was like, I'm so mad they didn't answer. I went back and looked. They called 3 times right after we had hung up, and they left the nicest messages. Hey, I'm sorry I was on a call. I missed your call. We called them. It was like 7:30 at night, which is like 10:30 in North Carolina or South Carolina, where the Newmar or where the Freightliner factory is. But the 24/7 Direct guy called me back 3 times to make sure I was okay. So, I mean, really great customer service through not only the app, but actually the human beings that are on the other side of that will answer the phone if you have any kind of chassis issues and you can't get a hold of Bill. Okay, so the Oasis dual loop Chinook system has an overflow tank back here. If this Oasis juice is below this line, it will have a sensor in there telling it doesn't have enough fluid, and you will not have tankless hot water. Your tankless hot water and your hydronic heat need to have Oasis juice above this fill line. It can go, this is as hot as it wants, or as full as it wants to be, so it can go above it. It's just gonna overflow. It's an overflow tank. But that's really important to note. So if you mention that you've watched my video, I'll make sure you get a free gallon of that, because I'll tell you, Amazon has a really hard time getting that out into the middle of the forest next day air. Whoa, look at that Cummins. Okay, so everything in red there is your Cummins ISL. Again, I'm sorry, I have an ISL. I wish it was it's an ISX. This is your big 15-liter ISX. Of course, the Mountain Aire has the 12-liter, but that's what's giving you that 605 horsepower. That's what's giving you that 1,950 foot-pounds of torque. You've got your Voyager camera systems already integrated, as is your 7-pin connector. This is for your brake sync. Brake sync literally gives you a charged piston full of air, so that if you have a tow vehicle and you lose your air brakes, you can still stop your tow vehicle with your Air Force One braking system. Of course, in all of our luxury lines, and even starting at the entry-level luxury, which is Dutch Star, we have a side radiator system giving us better room in the bathroom. That's the vent for the dryer. This is the other side of your DEF fueling station. I know it doesn't sound important, but sometimes when you are trying to fuel your coach and you like just to get back on the road, it's nice to be able to get DEF on either side. It's not a huge deal, but it is handy. This is a great compartment to keep an extra gravity hose. For the most part, because this coach has SantaCon, I'd probably keep gloves in there, maybe some paper towels. Now you're gonna say, but Katie, in your water bay, you have a paper towel holder. Yeah, but you know, sometimes you need an extra set. I like maybe a blue roll in there and then like some normal ones over here. I can tilt this coach over so it's easier to use my gravity drain if I'd like. I can also plug my hose into here and use this. Some people use it for everything, but for me, the big deal would be to get an extra load of laundry in or take another shower. If my gray tank was getting close to full and I didn't want to go dump yet and I was boondocking. But again, your SantaCon system is right here. One of the things I really like about this coach is the fact that you have a gray tank rinse. I mentioned in all of my videos for coaches that have this because I think that gray tank water is disgusting. Bacon grease, like body stuff, like all of my daughter's like hair products and tanning solutions all can get rinsed out of my gray tank. That would be great. And then of course you've got your black tank rinse. I love that the Clean Liquid Master container is now clear, so you can make sure if it's time to change out that filter, you can do that without having to, or you can see that without having to take it off to look at it. It's kind of nice. Hot and cold shower outside, paper towel dispenser. I can start my generator here. I can look at my tank levels here. Everything is available right here in this display. And again, all of this is on my phone as well. The freshwater hose is on a power reel. The button here, see how the button's here? This is what I would call peasant class. That's where my button is on my power cord. Because this is a higher level coach, they actually put your power cord button up here. I have to reach all the way down here. I know, peasant class. There's the buddy plug, that's extra. Surge protectors, standard. You could still buy a cheap one to put on the pole. Don't spend like $1,200 on a surge protector, you guys. They're meant to be blown up. Spend like 150 bucks, it's enough. And if someone takes it, then you won't be mad. All right, so do you see how easy these doors close now? That's 2023 and newer. There's your dual loop system for the Oasis. Heating loop 1 and heating loop 2. This just gives you better coverage. It's going in opposite directions so that as that hydronic heat or that hydronic fluid is being heated in that 8-gallon boiler, it has less room to travel before it gets back to the boiler, giving you a better ability to heat your coach in very cold temperatures. The big deal with this is you've got a AC1 and AC2 filament, which are going to be run off of 30 or 50 amp. But your burner system can be run without having your generator on, without having your coach running, and it can actually be run and giving you hot water or hydronic heat. You know what I just realized, Jody? Watch this. Let's go here to generator, stop. Oh, that's gonna be so good for when we get to the front of the coach. It gets so loud up there. So again, so you can run this filament and keep your coach hot or have hot water without being plugged into 50 or 30 amp. Here's the back side of that large storage bay. Again, these are a 60% extension, which means you can get to the middle of them from either side. Just a really nice feature on that London Aire. And then here's the other half of the first one that I showed you that we pulled out. And then here again is our new Victron energy management system. These are 3,000 watts, but having the second one gives you the ability to run your air conditioner while you're going down the road without having your generator on, or as long as you have enough juice in your Lithionics battery. So keep in mind, the 640 amp hours that you have here underneath with this Lithionics is enough to run your coach. That dedicated inverter with an extra 320 amp hours of battery would be pretty much dedicated towards air conditioning. So you will double your air conditioning life in essence if you have that extra battery. So if that's important to you and you are gonna do a lot of boondocking, I would encourage you to get that extra battery. If you're going to be, for the most part, pole to pole, these batteries will charge automatically while you're driving, but you would not be able to run your air conditioner without that second inverter. So here's that outdoor awning that I mentioned earlier that covers all those big windows. And then you can see one deployed on the outside with the bedroom awning. And then your docking light is right here. Man, I didn't show you the 360-degree camera, I apologize. You got a 360-degree camera system. This is just the side camera. These are positioned 4 points around the coach. And then up here, that is not an awning at the very top. It looks like one, so they match on both sides. What it is it's part of the party deck for all of your things. You know, your Starlink, your fans, your air conditioners, all of those are housed in a very nice party deck. Not for you, but for your accoutrement that are helping you stay comfortable going down the road. So that if you've got crosswinds or heavy gale force, you know, rain, you don't have to worry about them being impacted. So right here above this docking light, we've got, again, 150-gallon dual fill, 15-gallon def, really nice black powder coating to tie into our Amish racing wheels that we have here. And then also you'll see that we have a squeegee. So if you get a King Air, you get like a full pressure washer, but we still get a squeegee. That's a pretty good deal, right? So this is a clean idle certified, clean air certified coach. If you are a Californian, this Freightliner chassis right now for California emissions standard, it's the only state that is still stuck and can't have the diesel engines by Cummins in the ISX imported unless they're in the right sticker segment. But this coach would be available for purchase in California and registration. All that legislation is going through right now. It's been overturned in every state except for California. But if you are California looking for a coach and you want a London Aire, first of all, I'd get this London Aire because it's badass. But second of all, the fact that it is California certified is important because currently I'm in a 12 to 18 month wait list for a Freightliner SL chassis with the ISX on an order to go into California, which is a real bummer. So just be aware, if you see something that you love, you should call me. He was flying around you, now he's flying around me. That's the bee that I let out earlier, I bet. Okay, and you should call me about this, about 5N250-102. Again, this Onyx package, absolutely beautiful Hampshire London Aire 4551 is available to you at Transwest Truck Trailer RV here in sunny Frederick, Colorado. My name is Katie O'Neill. I don't make these videos for information. Well, I do, but I also want you to call me so I can help get you out on the road and camping. Thanks so much for tuning in.